Welcome to Made-in-Alberta. The greenhouse effect, global warming, climate change, now global change. The disastrous weather has been in the news a lot lately, and we have something to do with that. But why are scientists trying to help us understand how the environment works? Well, it turns out that a lot of them are quite alarmed by how rapidly these problems are progressing. And they're hoping that knowledge is power. The kind of power that we're going to need to get together and solve them.
Dr. David Schindler has won prestige and international awards for his studies on how freshwater supplies are affected by changes to the environment around them.
Basically, without water, we not only can't survive for more than a couple of days, but we can't grow plants to feed us or animals to feed us. Most of the industries that we use depend heavily on water in one way or another.
Understanding what heat does to water, Dr. Schindler has been following the science of global warming and climate change with increasing alarm since the 1970s.
When I worked for the federal government in Canada, the first meetings on climate warming were 1979. So the idea that this is a brand new thing that suddenly we have to consider is just not true. We've had 30 years or so to plan what we did in response to climate change, and politicians and non-scientists just have not paid any attention.
Greenhouse gases are like a sugary treat that lives for a moment on the lips and a lifetime on the hips. They build up in the atmosphere and continue to heat the planet for decades.
We're locked into a couple of degrees more of climate warming. There's nothing we can really do to change the climate much between now and 2050 because we haven't paid attention, so we've already done it.
To understand what this means for the near future, it's helpful to look at what a couple of degrees warming has already done to Alberta.
We're seeing climate warming. We've already had 2 or 3 degrees, mostly since 1970. As a result, the data show that our glaciers are dwindling. We're getting less snow. It's on the ground for less time. We're having increased evaporation and evapotranspiration.
So there's a new and much more urgent message for us in 2007.
We're going to increasingly have to emphasize adaptation for society as we know it to carry on. But what we do now can have a huge impact on the climate toward the end of this century, when the worst of the problem will occur if we continue with business as usual. So my view is that we ought to be investing in reducing our greenhouse emissions now to protect future generations of humans.
Join us again for part 2 of Dr. Schindler's interview for more discussion about climate warming in Alberta, what we might expect, and what we should do to prepare for it.